Welcome back, my friends, to Big Bill Anderson's Death Tours. I am here at the Birdcage Theater, built in 1881, Tombstone, Arizona. But not here to really talk so much about the history of the birdcage for this video. I have a specific reason to be here. I'm going to go into the details right now. This spot right here, I met a man standing here on July 21st, 2010. His name was Leroy Colomy. I had been so impressed with seeing Leroy a couple years before when he was with Zach Bagans and the Ghost Adventures team here at the Birdcage. Leroy was the manager here, and he was leading them around, showing them the history of the Birdcage Theater. A couple years before that, he was actually involved with the Ghost Hunters team and showed them around, gave them a history lesson of this hotel. So Leroy provided such expert historic information for this TV show that I was just so impressed. I wanted to meet him. So I came here with my son, Audie, in 2010, and I met Leroy. And he did not let me down. He was dressed the part of a cowboy. He talked the part of a cowboy. He lived the part of a cowboy. And he embodied the free spirit of a lot of the residents here of Tombstone. This is downtown Allen Street right here. This is where Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, the Clantons, and so many others roam these streets. Right over there is a monument or a plaque to Fred White, Marshal Fred White, who was murdered by Curly Bill Brocious right here in this spot in front of the Birdcage Theater back in the 1800s. So I came here to meet this man, and I'll tell you a little bit about Leroy. Leroy was born in Bangor, Maine, and although when you met him you would swear on your life that he was Tombstone born and raised, or at the very least born and raised somewhere in the Southwest. At different times of his life, he worked construction. He was a park ranger in the Sierra Nevadas. Came to Tombstone in 1993. He joined the Boot Hill Gunfighters Club and became known as Lightning Leroy for his fast draw, one of the quickest in the Tombstone area. In 1996, he began working right here at the Birdcage Theater. Became a manager here at the Birdcage. And for the next 18 years, Leroy Colomy came to work each day right here in this building, and he loved every minute of it. You could tell from talking to him, he was a man with passion in his heart and in his voice for this building that had so much history. But this all came to a tragic end on July 9th, 2014, only 2 blocks from where I'm standing right now. Okay, my friends, we've switched locations now. Leroy was asked by a friend that was away on vacation if he would look in on his house and would make sure everything was okay. And like I said before, I'm only 2 blocks from the Birdcage Theater. Leroy pulled up here on a quad runner that he was driving and stepped off the vehicle, and a man approached him by the name of Barry Chappell. An argument ensued. Chappell pulled out a gun and shot Leroy Colomy 5 times. Leroy died right here in the gravel on that fateful day. He then left Leroy's body laying here, drove to the Birdcage Theater, told employees they needed to call 911 because he had just shot someone. 60-year-old Barry Chappell then began walking down Allen Street and was stopped by the Tombstone marshal and placed under arrest. He was charged with first-degree murder. Chappell told authorities that in his mind he believed the 74-year-old Leroy Colomy was molesting his girlfriend. But the reality was the girl in question was Leroy's girlfriend, and Barry Chappell was a stalker and wanted to be with Leroy's girlfriend, and he saw Leroy as an obstacle. And in his deluded thinking, due to alcohol, methamphetamine, and other drug abuse, right here in this spot, right in front of this fence. The white fence wasn't here at the time. It was just a chain link fence right here in this gravel in front of us. He took Leroy's life. Leroy left behind 2 sons and a daughter. Also a town full of friends that loved him. If you ask around Tombstone and you mention the name Leroy Colomy, everybody's face lights up with a smile. Mine did too when I met Leroy. Absolute wonderful human being, a good man. He had a gentle nature and a sincere love for Old West history and Tombstone in general. Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures dedicated a Return to Tombstone episode in 2015. And it was on that night that I watched that episode is where I learned of the fate of Leroy Colomy. And I can tell you honestly, it was very depressing to hear of Leroy's death. He was a very good man. So I wanted to come here to Tombstone. One of my main reasons, besides all the obvious of the Birdcage Theater and the OK Corral and stagecoach tours and trolley tours and mine tours and the graves of so many founders of the city and other great people that lived here in this city, I wanted to come here and pay my respects to Mr. Leroy Colomy. So rest in peace, Leroy. I will personally never forget you. You were one of the absolute great characters of Tombstone and its history. Died right here on this spot. Very sad. So this video is a tribute to you, Mr. Colomy. Thank you for inspiring so many people like me to come to this town and learn its history. And my friends, this is Big Bill Anderson saying that I hope you like this video. I know it's a tragic video. It's as real gets. Who would think in this day and age on the streets of Tombstone that there is still people being shot and killed in broad daylight, no different than when it was 1881. So I wanted to come here, like I said, and pay my respects to Mr. Colomy. And please like this video if you like it. Ring the notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. And share the video. And thank you very much, my friends. Big Bill Anderson from Tombstone, Arizona, saying adios, amigos.